I don't care about your team's velocity. There, I said it, and I'll say it again for those who may be currently reeling in disbelief. I do not care about your team's velocity. Now take a few moments to let that sink in. Blasphemy, right? An agile coach who doesn't care about velocity? This is one of the metrics I am most often asked about from senior stakeholders who want to improve efficiency and productivity of their engineering functions. Now, the intent behind this focus is often fairly innocuous. They've got pressures to deliver, a desire to demonstrate success, and they're likely doing what they can with the knowledge they have and the resources they have at the time. Too often, however, velocity is used with ill intent or through a misunderstanding of what adverse impacts it can have. The following are 3 examples of where I've seen improper use of velocity, and it can be particularly dangerous. When it's used by leadership to compare between team members from a performance management and appraisal perspective. When it's used to predict completion of larger pieces of work which might span multiple sprints or months in duration. And lastly, if it's used to compare between teams, despite the fact that the work they're doing, the skill sets they have available, and the people are all very different. It's a trap. Admiral Akbar, eat your heart out. As soon as a metric becomes a target, it ceases to be a valuable metric. Now, if you're approached by a senior stakeholder and asked about velocity, I definitely recommend starting a dialogue in a way which helps you understand what outcome they're looking for from tracking velocity. Be curious. Is it to be more data-driven? Are there concerns about delivery predictability? Is it to understand team performance? Understanding the why here can help you with suggesting alternatives, metrics that matter. This will enable the stakeholders to get the information that they need without imposing potentially damaging constraints on your teams. Consider these alternative metrics to velocity instead. Iteration churn, so the number of incomplete stories that were committed to in an iteration, which can be a measure of predictability. Cycle time. At a high level, this measures the speed a piece of work progresses through a team's workflow, or the time taken for a piece of work to progress from when the team first commits to delivering it to when it's marked as complete. And squad health checks trends over time. Examples of this include the Spotify health check. Now, don't get me wrong. I do believe that velocity can have its uses if it's used in the right way. Velocity, when used by teams for the team's benefit, can be a very powerful tool for learning. For learning what a team's capable of achieving, it can be beneficial, particularly early on in a team's experiments with agile ways of working, and it can help the team gain a sense of confidence in its ability to forecast. It can seldomly be used by management as part of trend analysis. As an example, if there was a sudden drop of velocity by a team, this can prompt open questioning to the team and may actually uncover some areas where they can be further supported. And in this scenario, the manager is serving the team and not the other way around. So while we're talking about metrics, the most valuable metric to me personally is one which is anchored in the Agile manifesto's first principle. Our highest priority is to satisfy the customer through early and continuous delivery of valuable software. This metric, days since last user engagement. How does this work then? So you simply track and keep visible and transparent the number of days since your team last engaged with a user or a customer, and you aspire to keep this number as low as possible. Teams that successfully keep this number low have faster feedback loops. They're able to pivot their work based on that feedback and are ultimately more likely to produce software that's of value to its customers. So over to you guys. What metrics are most important to you in your roles? Do you have any metrics focused around customer engagement? I'm keen to hear your stories, so do share below.